Lala's going to single-handedly give us this season 11. Thank you, Lala Kent. Now, Jax has spoken out and said, what the hell? We all know he called Vanderpump scripted. We know that he has apologized since. Meaning that Lisa Vanderpump and the network probably called him and said, girl, do you want the Valley to be successful? You're on thin ice. These people are making way more than you, and the show is successful. Your Valley is like hanging on each week. It's doing okay, but girl, don't you be criticizing our hit here. So, I mean, I don't think Jax just woke up and had a conscience. I think the network called and said, girl, you better apologize. And he stuck his tail up his ass and between his legs and apologized for calling it scripted. But, um, he also said that, what the hell is up with Scheana Shay and why is she always out and she's never home with baby Summer Moon? She's keeping Brock at home with Summer Moon. And why is she in Chicago seeing Ariana? Well, Scheana got very upset, fought back tears when she responded to this. That she cannot believe. And she says she is a good mother, that she stays home with Miss Moon. And when Miss Moon goes to bed at 9 p.m., she goes out and she's out for work. She's at Coachella right now and she's there for work. She is posting for I think for Smirnoff Ice, saying paid partnership, blah, blah, blah. But she said, be careful, Jax, be careful, because I'll talk about your deep, dark secrets. And then she says, it is about the pasta with Jax. James says it is not about the pasta, but with Jax, Scheana says it is about the pasta. And we all know pasta means cocaine. That is what it means in the Vander regions. And so, this is not the first time we've heard on this podcast that Jax loves the pasta, aka cocaine. That is what Scheana is implying. And she's also saying, be careful. The same way, now we learn that Michelle on the Valley has a deep, dark secret. I'm still loving Kristen on the show. I really love Kristen Doty. I think she makes great TV. Miss Janet, though, she's one to watch, you guys. Still liking the Valley, not loving it, confused, trying to figure it out. If y'all cancel it and never watch it again, I would understand. I'm torn, my guys. I'm torn. Bethenny Frankel, Miss Frankel. She is rebranding. Here is the thing. I'm going to keep my thoughts to myself in a sense. I was going down a road recently. I'll give you this much. I was going down a road to do a side hustle project with two housewives, like a second podcast. And some incarnation of that might happen. There was one housewife involved who became a little too high maintenance. And I'm like, I don't need to be a part of this. But the point is, the point I am trying to make, and the side thing, that's a whole nother story, but it wasn't going to take me away from this. But my point is, if you have something that is working properly, you don't shift courses all the time. It's working. If the train ain't broke, don't fix it. We're in season 11 of Vanderpump Rules. Here we are. But, tweak it maybe. But Bethenny has revised this fucking podcast so many times. I honestly and truly cannot keep up between Rewives and Just Be and this and that. Now we have Just Be divorced. Now, here's the thing that nobody seems to understand. When you don't have a podcast and then you do, or you make a change, it pushes you to the top of the charts. Like, if I started this second podcast with these two housewives, we'd be like number one on the charts. Like, we'd come out number one. But because the way the charts work, it's the differential. So I'm not going to bore everyone with this. But the point is, if you have 0 downloads and then the next week you have 5,000 downloads, you will be higher on the charts than if someone has 90,000 downloads and the next week they have 90,001, because the differential delta change is not that great. So everyone kind of comes out at number one, top of the charts, number 4. That doesn't mean anything. But Bethenny has come out, look, maybe it will be interesting. Are we excited to hear about Just Be Bethenny's divorce. I take it as like, okay, like in business, you should always be reinventing yourself. And I don't know. I'm just like, if it's one successful podcast, wouldn't it be working? We all know she says she's now the problem and she canceled herself and she won't talk about housewives anymore. Girl, it just didn't work for you, you know? And no shade to Bethenny because I actually really like Bethenny. But I don't know. Do we want to hear the Just Be divorce? I mean, I guess it's interesting. I did see this video where she's going through things and she's flipping the pages, and I mean, she has all her notes. I mean, I write just like her. I mean, if you look at these notes, my notes are just as crazy. So maybe it's interesting. I mean, talking about breaking NDAs, and I just am like, how does Brynn feel about this? And it's no shade. It's just like I imagine she had a talk with Brynn about this, about like, I'm going to be talking all about your father. And it really makes me wonder, does Brynn have any relation with Jason Hoppy anymore? Like, I mean, I know like I know how it all worked out, but like, does she want to see her father anymore? It's a truly a question. I don't know. And maybe we are interested in Bethany's divorce, I guess. Are we interested? I don't know. Listen, any hot take that she says is going to be out there on, Reality Blurb. We love Reality Blurb. Thank you, Monty. Monty covers this show, our podcast. So we love Reality Blurb. We are always in Reality Blurb and we love them. And by the way, you either get covered or you don't. I mean, there's no favors here. So I guess we say things that get us into Reality Blurb. But I don't know. I'll just read it there. Anything that the highlights. I mean, I'm not going to listen. Katie has now come out and has a total different set of circumstances. When she was at the iHeart Awards with Rachel Leviss, she said she saw Rachel was so nervous getting out of her car and did not want to approach. She then goes on to say, which is totally different than what Rachel said. And Katie says, oh, I saw I was on the worst dress list. You had to post that. That's your big comeback, clap back at me. Learn how to clap back. Then she says she wasn't paying attention at all to Rachel, Miss Leviss, and then quotes every move that she made. So, Katie, girl, figure it out. I don't know, guys. I don't know. So, what are we liking? What are we liking on Bravo these days? When Potomac ends before Jersey starts, this will be the first time in years that we have no housewives on our TV. I think it's going to be a nice little break because you can all come here, but for 3 weeks until Jersey starts, we have no housewives. And then I've asked this before. I mean, I don't know. Does the trailer for the second season of Dubai look good? Sure. I mean, it does. Ugh, I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm not excited to watch Dubai. I'm not. Should I get excited? Is everyone excited? If you want me to be excited, I could be excited. We're not going to be recapping it. We'll be talking about it here. We are going to be recapping Jersey every single week, only on Patreon. That is the one where I go wild and I take it in lots of different directions. And we have a lot of Jersey guests coming up, which will be on the main feed, most likely. So join Patreon right now. That's really it. Nothing really else going on. Kathy has, when at the event, they asked Kathy and Kyle about the future of RHOBH. Same thing. Kathy's open to returning, blah, blah, blah. We don't know what's going to happen. I think everyone else is going to come back. And I still think it's going to be a Kyle versus Dorit season. And I think somewhere, I've said it before, Lisa Vanderpump is having a lovely glass starting today of Vanderpump Rosé because the Vanderpump Rules is doing well. The Valley, which she's a producer on, co-producer, whatever you want to call it, is doing well enough. And Vanderpump Villa is killing it. And now Kyle and Dorit are about to go at it on national TV. I think somewhere, and Rinna's fired. I think somewhere, although Rinna's doing just fine, Miss Vanderpump is having a glass of that Vanderpump Rosé today. Darlings. Anyway, it's just David. Listen to our expose. I hate to use that word expose of Louis and Teresa on Patreon, which was yesterday. I'm sorry, tree huggers, and I hope you enjoyed me checking in tomorrow. I guess we should have a housewife as a guest tomorrow morning. You want me to have a housewife? Let's head west. I am west. I'm in LA. I can't head any further west. But let's keep it on the West Coast tomorrow. Maybe a